Have you ever found yourself snapping at somebody you love or spiraling into anxiety because of something really small and thinking to yourself, like, why am I reacting this way? And maybe you're someone that you think you're pretty self-aware, right? You do journaling, or you've gone to therapy, maybe you've read the self-improvement books, or you have a meditation practice, or you do the deep breathing techniques, and you're like, why am I still reacting like this? You're still getting triggered. Well, here's the truth that nobody's talking about and nobody's telling you, and that I want you to understand, and that is the reason that your nervous system keeps looping in these patterns, even though at the level of the mind you understand you shouldn't be and you know better, is because there's unprocessed energy in your system. I think about it like energy flowing through a tube. Okay, let's say all of these events that happen in life, it's all energy that's just flowing through. We're like the tube. And sometimes things happen in life that are maybe they're too much, or they're too soon after one another, or it just feels like, wow, I can't let this event move through the system because if it does, it will wipe me out. Maybe the loss of a loved one. Right? And so out of necessity, what does our system do? As the energy is flowing through, it's like the circuit breaker gets flipped and it says, no, this is too much. And it stops. All right. And maybe this is out of necessity in the short term, right? You sweep it under the rug, you put it in the closet for a little bit thinking, all right, I'm going to come back to it later. But the reality is maybe you never do come back to it. Or at the level of the mind, you kind of tell yourself you just got to, pull up your big girl pants and move on, right? But the body, the truth is the energy of this event was never felt. The emotions were never allowed to move through. And so energy is neither created nor destroyed. And so what does it do? Well, it starts to just turn in on itself, and it creates what's called an energetic block. All right. And now what is a trigger? Well, a trigger is when something moves through in life that this event, this situation, this person, it has the same essence, right? A very similar vibe to this past experience, and it hits up against this block, and boom. It's like an emotional landmine goes off, okay? And your reaction to the present situation is like completely disproportionate to what it should be, to what actually is going on. Or you're like, how come nobody else is reacting this way? And you are, because it feels so big inside of you. I mean, maybe it's something simple, like you send a text message to your partner and they don't respond. And you keep checking your phone and you're looking and hours go by and still nothing. And so all of a sudden, the mind starts, right? Well, are they okay? Are they mad at me? Did I do something wrong? Did I say something bad? You reread the text message, right? Looking for things that you maybe should have said differently. You're wondering, like, why is it that I always care more about people than they care about me? Or are they cheating on me, right? The brain is just going. And what's the reason? Well, because this has hit up against an old wound. All right. In reality, the situation is just you didn't get a text message back yet. Like maybe they haven't seen it yet. Maybe they lost their phone. Maybe the phone is sitting at home, right? Who knows what's really going on? The text message hasn't been responded to yet. But for you, it feels much bigger because this maybe old wound of abandonment or feeling invisible, or maybe you've been cheated on in the past, right? That's what's getting kicked up. And you think it's their fault, right? And it seems like it is because you were doing just fine until they didn't text you back. And you're not asking that much for them to text you back. But the reality is that reaction that you're having is yours because it's getting hit up against something from your past. All right. And it's easy to blame that person, but truly it was something internal that went off. All right. Maybe you've been at work and you're giving a presentation and all of a sudden someone cuts you off. They interject, right? Or they correct you in the middle of this meeting and like your face goes red, right? You freeze. And hours later, right, you're still pissed, you're still angry, and you're even wondering like, well, why am I so upset? Because what they said was actually helpful for the meeting, right? But something within you, again, it got hit up against some old wound where maybe you were made to feel wrong in the past, or you were made to feel not good enough, or you were made to feel small. And so this situation, right, it had that same essence, and boom, your body had this reaction where it's like at the level of the mind, you're like, chill out. But the body, it's going off, right? It's having this emotional response to it. You've been triggered. And, a lot of people teach and believe that it's important to set boundaries, right? To avoid these triggers. And to let the people around you know this. And I, for one, I just don't believe in that. Okay, so I don't believe in avoiding triggers or setting up all of these boundaries because to me, that's not true freedom. To me, that's like you have a thorn, in your arm. And yeah, when somebody bumps up against the thorn, it hurts. And you could blame that person, right, for bumping up against the thorn. But the truth is, well, if you just pulled the thorn out, you'd be okay. But most people seem to say, no, I need to build this protective barrier around the thorn so that no one can ever bump into it and I don't get hurt. And it's like, yeah, okay, that might resolve the thorn not getting bumped up against, but the thorn's still in you. And now you got this weird thing, right, around your arm. And it's funny to think about in that way, but that's what you're doing with these emotional blocks. You're building boundaries around them, telling people, no, don't push that button, right? And who's the best at pushing them? Our family and our loved ones and the close ones around us. They know which buttons to push. And the reality is, all you need to do is go pluck out the thorn. Yeah, it's going to temporarily hurt, but in the long run, it's going to feel better because you've gotten at the root of the issue. And so I look at these energetic blocks, right? These emotional landmines that go off. I think of them like seeds. And we have these seeds inside of us. And until the right weather kind of comes through, that seed can't sprout. And that weather is situations, it's people, it's those loved ones. They cause the seed to finally sprout. And the reality is that you should be grateful that the weather has been created so that that seed has been revealed, because otherwise that unprocessed energy is sitting inside of you. These seeds are dormant. And the energy event, the events that get created that set them off are an opportunity for you. All right. It's the moment where you can actually learn what's unresolved inside of you. What do you actually need to let go of? Those seeds of abandonment or not feeling good enough or whatever it might be. And so the truth is, the trigger is the teacher. And you can actually be grateful when you gain this perspective about being triggered, because now all of a sudden it's like you've got a window cracked open into something inside of you that you didn't know was there, that you needed someone else to reveal to you. And now you can resolve it. This is what inner mastery is about. This is what true self-awareness is about. This is radical ownership. Also, it's no more being the victim. It's no more blaming out there. It's saying, okay, what within me is getting agitated, is getting kicked off, might have called this situation in even to reveal this to me. All right, that's a whole nother level. But what I do, if you're getting value from this, I want to help you now to pull out the root, right? To actually go in there, because you cannot think your way out of this. All right. You can't logic your way out of a trigger. You can't think yourself into inner peace. You've probably tried that already and realized, hey, there's limitations. You actually have to go to where this is living, which is inside of the body. All right. And this is what I do with my students. I take them through what's called the energetic diffusion technique, where we actually go into the body, we find this trapped energy, and we do what we haven't done yet, which is allow it to be felt. Allow it to move through. And no, you're not reliving the story. You're not getting re-traumatized. In fact, I jump people right out of their mind. I don't want to hear the story. I don't need to know why it's there, because the body just needs to feel it. It just needs to be, the thorn just needs to be pulled out. That's it. We don't need the story about how the thorn got there. We just need to pull it out. And that's what the energetic diffusion technique is all about. And so in this next video, I get into what is EDT. How does this work? How is this different? And how does it actually pull things out at the root? So I would love to hear from you in the comments. I think it is so fun to share when we're triggered, because we're all humans on this journey. There are layers of things that need to come into awareness for ourselves, and it's fun to just shine a light of awareness on it, even laugh at ourselves about how we have some disproportionate, response to what's going on. And I love to hear that from you in the comment section and to discuss this with you. So thank you so much as always, and be sure to check out this next video on the energetic diffusion technique.